Okay, so what have we done? We've got these egg bites, and I'm going to put them in a sous vide unit for, it's 175 for 45 minutes, and we're going to set this very, very tight. One of the things that would be interesting, if you look at sous videing eggs, you can make an egg depending on the temperature. Like if you went to 136, you could make it like the creamiest egg, soft boiled you've ever tasted, but it would never thicken up. And so it'd be interesting to try some different temperatures and try to make a creamy egg bite that wouldn't be hard like a, hard, but one that would actually be like a super smooth, creamy egg bite. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff you can do here, and we'll test it out and come back in 45 minutes and see what it looks like. Okay, so these are some sous vide egg bites that I put into jars. I put them in a sous vide unit at 175 for 45 minutes, and they're very, very firm. If you look on sous vide eggs on the YouTube, you can see that people will go from anywhere from 135 up to 175. 175 is very hard cooked. Some people say the perfect is 145 for 1 hour. What I think would be interesting here is to make the egg bite and try different cooking temperatures, such as 135 for 1 hour, 145 for 1 hour, and see about the creaminess. Now I didn't measure anything. This is like blended eggs. This one I put sausage crumbles that I'd sauteed with some chopped onions and bell peppers. And this one's one with cheddar cheese that I ground up in the blender with, and then I had some sun-dried tomatoes in there. So what we'll do, I'm just going to cut these. I can't get them out of these jars because the way the neck is, it's tighter than down here. So what I'm going to have to do is just cut through them and cut them out, and then you can kind of see what the texture looks like. But this is the one with the sausage, and very, very firm. And then this is the one with the and I guess this has cheddar cheese, you can see, and sun-dried tomatoes, and both of them have cream. And I just maybe put just kind of eyeballs, maybe 20% cream, and the textures are very similar. They're pretty delicious. Have a nice bite, a nice flavor. But yeah, the thing about sous vide is that anything above 131, given enough time, will pasteurize against bacteria. So you could sous vide these egg bites, put them in the refrigerator. They probably last a month because they're so pasteurized, and any of your salmonella, whatever, would be destroyed in the sous vide process. There's some tables online that show you, if you've got a piece of meat, how long it needs to be sous vide, at what temperature to render it safe to eat. You can take an egg at 130 for 2 hours. It won't gel at all, and then you can use it in a Caesar salad and not worry about any kind of problems. You can also take hamburger meat at a low temperature like 131, 132, and have steak tartare or a raw rare hamburger that you don't have to worry about too. And you can take a tough piece of meat like a shoulder clod at about 133 for 36 hours and turn a shoulder clod into something that is like a prime rib. So there's a lot of things you can do with sous vide. I love to take tough pieces of meat and make them, kick them up to a wonderful piece of meat. And also even a steak that's choice, you can make it prime by just putting it in there for a couple of hours. So at any rate, the egg bites are great. That's a super nice little snack to have, and you can make a bunch of them, and they last a long, long time. Okay, one of the things that I was thinking about that would be an interesting experiment, this is very eggy, which I like, but an egg custard, for example, uses more egg whites and less yolk. So it'd be interesting to take one of these egg bites and say, if you had 6 eggs, throw away 3 yolks and see if you can get more of that egg custard texture and flavor. Just an experiment between yolk white ratio to come up with something that's really really good. Okay, so we're going to go over the textures again. I was thinking about, try 135, 145, 55. The internet is saying 175, which I think is a little bit high, but if you look at the 135, that is not an egg bite. And then if you go to 145, it's starting to congeal, and I actually tasted that, and it's got a really creamy texture, so there might be something to be said for getting close to the 165 gelation point and not quite making it and come up with a real custardy deal. Now this is one that I did at 165, and this was a sweet egg bite where I put 12% sugar, a little bit of monk fruit. It's basically eggs and cream, and the sugar actually firmed up the texture. It's a little firmer than the control here, which was done at 175 with sausage. And I think you could control the texture also with more cream so that you dilute the protein out. And then here's one I did at 165, a savory one that is pretty nice texture here. And this is just eggs and cream, and I took 3 of the egg yolks out, 6 eggs, 3 egg yolks, and threw the other 3 away. And so I think the 160 to 1